Round 2 of the exciting A1GP World Cup of Motorsports takes us to Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix, presented to you by Formula Car Race 2025. Here are the results from last time out, with Sparks YT 15 took a commanding victory from Puff, and B-Dragon Sonic with the last lap overtake facilitated by a brilliant strategy decision. The driver standings are the same as the finishing order from last time out, and that means that the Scotsman and the Nigerian have quite a bit of work to do to not just help themselves, but their team to catch up to Team England. And Sparks YT 15 is here are the nation's standings. Heading into this, the second round of the season. Japan, of course, has played host to many a Formula E title decider. Who can forget season 22, where the championship was effectively decided with 4 laps to the end as Revo wrecked out. It seems like this Italian has a lot to do in terms of ERL history. Let's see if he can finally pick up the pace, as he hadn't done too much last time out in the United Kingdom. But here in Japan, everything is always on the line. Here is the official track map. It's the only track in the ERL to have a figure 8 shape, and with famous turns like the S's, Dunlop, the Casio Triangle, and of course Spoon Corner and 130R. And a lot of elevation change, especially in the final sector, despite there only being one attack mode activation point. We're ready then for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Up the volume to 11 on it.
And here is your starting grid. Sparks YT 15 starts on pole from U-Cable, his teammate, and Puff. Fourth place sees Revo finally getting some pace out of that Team Italy car, then it's B-Dragon Sonic and Dav Sanchez. The other Italian driver of Francis Austin starts 7th from Remy Lebeau and Guillermo Perez. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo in 10th, Oinkro Ezra in 11th, Jensen Olsen in 12th from Hun Lam Thi and teammate Lam Fong. 15th place sees Oqui for the Netherlands, then it's Babnis Senior, Nicholas Palomino, Daniel Bogdasarov and the Red Devil. Then 20th place sees Oscar Volstad way down the order with Hart and Babnis Jr. for company. It's time for the first standing start of the season after a rained out London E-Prix. It Sparks on pole from teammate U-Cable, all 5 lights to 1. And we are green for the Japanese Grand Prix, and it's a great start there from U-Cable off the line, already drawing level as they head down into the first corner, aptly named first turn. U-Cable holding the outside line as they come into the S. It's still side by side with his teammate as we look to Puff, who's dueling with Revo, but out in front, U-Cable has taken the lead. Meanwhile, B-Dragon Sonic right there alongside with Dav Sanchez still fighting over 5th. On board we are with Puff as they come through the 2 Degner curves. And then going under the bridge, on board we were with Dav Sanchez having to shuffle back down to P6 as they come through the hairpin. Round the outside, tries to go under the Team France cars and contact. That's a lot of damage going through the hairpin. Remy Lebeau for the second race running finds himself with damage. Last time out it was lap 13, this time out lap 1. As well as that, Daf Sanchez with front wing damage, but as they come into 130R, it's U-Cable who leads from Sparks YT15 and UAPath. On board we are with B-Dragon Sonics, currently stationed in 5th as they come down into the Casio Triangle. And he does need to pick up the pace if he wants to try and get a podium today. Matthew Hart further back with a 5-second time penalty. Look at the midfield guys all going 3 wide through the chicane. Out in front, Team England's U-Cable leads with a 1.5 second margin to the rest of the pack. In comes Remy Lebeau to repair that front wing damage, and for the second race in a row, Team France hold the back 2 positions, and honestly, I don't see them moving any further up the pack. Here's Revo on the back of Sparks YT15. The soft tyres actually beginning to go off already. U-Cable with the fastest first sector of anybody at 26.016. And that side-by-side, Revo going around the outside, in fact, coming through the hairpin, and now up into second and closing up to U-Cable out in front. On board with B-Dragon Sonic, still in 5th position where he started. And you can see graining on his softs as Matthew Hart. Oh, someone's gone off. Yellow flags. That is the Team Norway car of Oscar Falstad off the track and facing backwards. Contact with Lam Fong, that seems to have been. And that's a very bad accident for both of them. Falstad didn't get the best qualifying, neither did the Vietnamese driver of Lam Fong. But this early on, for an incident like that to happen, that is going to wreck their race. They're going to need to pick themselves back up for the first night race next time out, as Nicholas Palomino finds himself getting a time penalty after a collision with Oqui. In comes Daf Sanchez, I believe, to fix that damage. Remy Lebeau, after pitting, has set the fastest second sector of anyone, so that's good news for Team France. As many other drivers now coming into the pits, that's Austin to repair his damage as well. And that's a very slow release for Team Spain there, just to comply by ERL rules and regulations. On board we are with Weather, and just look at the state of those soft tyres. After just 3 laps of 13 side by side, he's going with Sparks coming through the hairpin and just about manages to hold on. But what about the run down into Spoon Curve? They're going to be side by side. Revo, thankfully for him, still with the inside line, but it doesn't matter. Look at the drive that Sparks has gotten, but he's got off the track, and a full course yellow comes out. Jensen Olsen off the track and out of the race, and that seems to be one of the Netherlands cars. That's Oqui facing backwards and swerving. He's causing a blockade here. That is very much not up to protocol. Babnis Sr. has hit the wall. Sanchez has been given a time penalty. Off! Big hit there. I think that's Falstad out of the race, and that's both Norway cars out. Babnis Jr. also facing problems, and oh! Big wreck for Oqui. How has he managed to keep that car going? And wow, Perez sent into the wall by Remy Lebeau. I think both of them going to be out here. That's 4 cars taken out. And probably even more. Remy's out. Perez also out. And the full course yellow's coming out. And very much aiding a lot of the pack. Revo, U-Cable, B-Dragon Sonic, UAPath, and Ocampo all taking this opportunity to come into the pits. But Sparks YT15 on lap 4 stays out. That's interesting in my opinion, because this is a free pit stop. You get to lose half the time you would regularly lose, but maybe Sparks still feels quite happy with his mediums, as we're back under the green flag conditions. I wouldn't count on that though. Remember, last time we were on board with him, a lot of graining on those mediums. On board we go with his teammates, U-Cable, fighting over third. Meanwhile, further back, this is B-Dragon Sonic on the soft compound tyres, trying to get past Ocampo, who's on the hards after making their first stops. We expect this race to have multiple pit stops as well. Just seeing on how much graining there was on that first stint, from lights out to the first full course caution. Still on board with the fight for 5th position, as Onkro Ezra sees himself up in 4th position. The Red Devil with the fastest first sector, as that's a full car puncture for Matthew Hart. Second race running as the Scotsman found himself with tyre problems. And he's gone 1 lap too fast. Sparks has been passed. by Revo as well. And that is truly unfortunate for the man who's had such a great career in Champ Car already, as Bogdasarov runs into the back of him and gets a 5-second time penalty. Sparks comes into the pits. He was probably expecting... Oh, Babinus Jr. is that also with... Yes, it's Babinus Jr. also with a puncture to his car. Palomino is going to clear both of them. That is ruining both Team Romania and Team Scotland's race so far. Both of their drivers with punctures. And now effectively left with one driver to fight for the race win. Or at least good points in the case of Team Romania, as Babinus Sr. down in 16th position. 8 laps to go here in Japan. Looking at Sparks YT15 down in 7th position after his first stop in this race. And throw Ezra right behind him, and by right behind him I mean 8 seconds behind him in 8th position. His teammate B-Dragon Sonic now in the point-paying positions and suffering with some rear tyre wear. It's quite expected at this point. They'll probably have to make a second, third stop, possibly. As side by side between Hunlampi and Sparks coming through Spoon Curve. Sparks with the inside line and of course taking 6th position away from the Team Vietnam driver. As they go on to begin lap 6 of 13. 7 to go from Japan. And it's been quite the slow burner. We've had that one massive pile-up of B-Dragon Sonic set to 120.4. The fastest lap of the race so far. As now here comes Austin going side by side with Bogdasarov. Bogdasarov still yet to serve his time penalty. And what a lunge going through the Casio triangle to take 9th position for the Italian, but he loses it going through the final corner. Very interesting decision there to let Bogdasarov go through and come in to serve a stop. They will probably be racing on track again before the race ends, but anything can happen in the ERL, and it often does. Sorry for the stammer there, but that is the carnage that we often see in the ERL. You see it across all 3 regular series. And you'll probably see it before the 10-race season of the A1GP is out. Looking at Sebastian Ocampo as Babinus Sr. posts the fastest third sector. Now, Ocampo currently sat in 4th, hoping to try and move up the order a little more. Sanchez's teammate setting the fastest third sector of this race now. In 12th position as into the pits comes race leader Revo. Revo's in for his second stop. So he relinquishes the lead to U-Cable. B-Dragon Sonic mirrors the Italian strategy. And medium's going on. What is Revo going to be going on to for his next stint? I think mediums as well. I don't think that'll take either driver to the end of this race. They'll probably have to come in one more time. Hunlampi comes into the pits as well for Team Vietnam. Making their way through turn 1 spots. Did not manage to get in front of Revo in the pit stages, and B-Dragon Sonic actually being hustled by Oinko Ezra, his countryman, right behind him. And keep an eye on those gaps, even if our camera quality does begin to struggle. Look at Jeff Sanchez on the back of Babinus Sr. They've both driven for hyperdrive racing at different stages of that team's existence. And they both want the exact same thing after debuting in the same season, Season 3 of Formula E. They're going side by side through the S's, and that's Sanchez up into 10th position. Needed a move like that, because otherwise this race was going to send somebody to sleep. And Hunlampi in 9th, being chased by Daf Sanchez. Can't quite see that red Vietnam car while riding on board of him. Hunlampi's teammate, Lam Fong, right behind Babinus Jr. as we begin lap 8. Trying to go side by side through the hairpin, and we missed that pass. We didn't make the pass, if you were wondering, but wow, that was some very shoddy camera work. Ocampo and Puff both into the pits for their second stops, doing a 1-lap offset, or possibly more, to the guys who we expect to be leading this race. I think UK also actually out there on its first set of tires. after his first stop, rather. So those hard tyres, definitely the optimal race tyre if you want to have a long stint. Revo with the fastest first sector of anybody, trying to chase down the Team England man who has started on the front row in every A1GP race so far. In fact, Team England once again with a lockout, and that was a puncture for the Norway car of O'Quee. Another one? Are we serious? Michelin's probably going to have to take a good look at the tyre compound that they brought to this race, because we've seen 4 cars with tyre issues already. That could decide a race win. Hopefully it doesn't, but Revo in second position now, still chasing after the UK ball. 1 second is the gap. You can see the white and red Team England car right in front of him. And coming into the pits goes UK ball, it seems. That's very interesting to pit this late. It's lap 9 of 13. If he goes on to the mediums, then he won't have to stop again, but he chooses the softs. So that's going to be very twitchy, touch and go till the end of this race for the Season 10 and Season 21 champion. Looking at the Dragon Sonic now. He is 5-6 seconds behind the race leader of Revo, Sebastian Ocampo, the third most winningest ERL driver in history on 33 wins, looking for his 34th. Currently sits 4th in this race. He's had good pace all race long. In fact, he's just punched in the fastest first sector and is now on the back of Sparks YT15. Looks to try and make the move going through the hairpin, but can't get close enough to make it. He's going to try and go side by side into Spoon Curve. He's alongside with him. Heading down the hill. He's going to have the inside line, and that's going to be crucial. Sebastian Ocampo to P3 on lap 9. Of course, could be a tyre thing for Sparks. Let's take a look at those mediums. Absolutely shredded like a cheese grater or something like that. And B-Dragon Sonic experiencing the exact same phenomena. Struggle to say certain words, but he's 5 seconds down on Revo, who we believe has just come into the pits. Rounding the final corner, and yes, Revo has dived into pit lane, and B-Dragon Sonic once again follows him in. Another set of mediums to the end of the race for the Team Nigeria driver. That could be the strategy as Revo's coming out on the softs. Ocampo leads from UAPuff and UK Ball. And you can see there Revo on the red-walled Michelins. And Oinko Ezra heading down the main straight as well. But not being able to be in front of his teammate, but he will be in front of Sparks YT15, who's coming to the pitch as well. And while points are currently on the cards for the man who won the last race in Great Britain, it is not looking as if he can repeat that same strategical masterclass from pole position. Sanchez coming out of the pit stand. Just look at these tyres. UAPuff having some serious graining on his softs, and to a much lesser extent you can see for the race leader Ocampo and Oinko Ezra. But just take a look at Ocampo's tyres too. They are quite bad. UK Ball going alongside with UAPuff further up, still going side by side, going into 130R. He's not going to make the move here, is he? He is, and he's going to make the lunge through the Casio triangle for the lead as well. UK Ball now leads the Japanese Grand Prix, as into the pits come Sebastian Ocampo and UAPuff, both of them saying enough is enough with their tyres. We've now got 2 laps to the checkered flag here in Japan, and it looks as if the battle for the lead is going to heat up. At least we hope. There's a gap of 2 seconds between race leader UK Ball and second place Revo, but a tyre offset of a lap, which does mean quite a bit as we watch Oinko Ezra going into another set of mediums. Doesn't seem like Team Nigeria has that many softs left to go, because, well, Ezra could have used a set of softs. His teammate B-Dragon Sonic currently set in P3, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. 7/10 is the margin out in front. There you can see UK Ball. He's eagerly trying to defend from Revo. These two teammates back in Season 1 of Formula E, back at Next TV Neo. And the gap under half a second. They are so close together and we're not looking at them for some reason. Here they are, heading down into 130R. They're going to be side by side. And a full course yellow comes out. It's Oqui, who seems to have suffered a mechanical failure. And that ends that potential overtake for Revo. He's going to have to recharge the battery and go again. Although potentially U-Cable could come into the pits. He's not. He's staying out for the penultimate lap, and the pit lane closes at the end of the penultimate lap. So that means U-Cable is going to go to the end of this race with the soft tyres that he's on. We're green again here in Japan. Revo as close to his former teammate as ever. Coming through turn 1. He's alongside through the S's, up the hill of the SS. And Revo up into the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix with 1 lap to go. B-Dragon Sonic closing up to the leaders as well. He's 6/10 off the back of U-Cable, who's still going side by side, and technically, yes, he is in front of Revo again. These two absolutely know how to put on a show for the lead with just a handful of laps to go. And it's that tyre issues for Bamanis Senior going down the straight. No, he's just got no pace. You apart from the fastest first section of anyone, and U-Cable in the single digits in terms of tyre percentage. He's miscalculated. Team England have miscalculated the tyre strategy here. There's another lap to go. There's another 6 kilometers left of this race. U-Cable now 1.2 seconds off the back of Revo as there goes Daf Sanchez past Bamanis Senior. That's a puncture! The English driver with a puncture heading into the Casio triangle. He's being caught by B-Dragon Sonic. And riding on board with the Team Nigeria man, he moves up into second position. And considering that we're now on the final lap, Oinkro Ezra came in to seemingly repair something on the car. I don't see what else it would have been for. Revo is probably going to be suffering similar tyre issues now. This is gonna get quite hairy here. As U-Cable still going down the main straight. It could have been a podium. Could have been a shot at victory. But unfortunately for the Englishman, it's all over. He's gonna have to try and limp home. He missed pit lane. He's riding on board with Bamanis Senior there for some reason. I think he's struggling with similar tyre issues coming through the final corner. He's slowing, and it's a full car puncture for the Romania driver. B-Dragon Sonic is closing in on this man Revo, the 5-time Formula E champion, who's going for the second win in the ERL A1GP. And you can see Revo, his former teammate in U-Cable, still struggling with that full car puncture, trying to limp home in 8th currently. Francis Austin trying to get past the England man and running into the back of him and getting a 5-second time penalty. That's not clean at all. But rounding the final corner, and he's got a puncture too. 3 seconds is the margin for Revo as he limps home. B-Dragon Sonic runs the final corner, but it's not enough. Revo takes victory in Japan, and by 1 second, 1 measly second, B-Dragon Sonic misses out. I knew tyre strategy would dictate the end of this race. I didn't think it'd be this hectic though. U-Cable still struggling as he comes to the line with that major tyre issue. We've got 2 drivers a lap down in Hart and Oinkro Ezra. Heading through 130R, what can the Red Devil do to try and get a point away from Daniel Boktasarov? He makes the lunge, and that should be good enough. Rounding the final corner, and as Palomino comes to the line with tyre issues, same for Daf Sanchez. That's going to be 2 brilliant points for the Netherlands. And I think Boktasarov might be able to get past Daf Sanchez. No, he wasn't. He struggled with tyres coming to the end as well. What has caused this tyre malarkey at the end of the race? We should be receiving a report from Michelin soon, but my oh my, that was terrible. U-Cable's going to come home from the lead at the start of lap 12 to second last of the lead lap runners at the end of the race. Unbelievable scenes we've just seen here in Japan. But for Revo, It looks like the racing gods were on his side. At the race where he made his debut with Mercedes. Same location here in Japan. Where he took out his teammate, B-Dragon Sonic. He leads B-Dragon Sonic to the line. Despite the major tire problems he was struggling with. And of course, here's the podium. Revo taking victory from B-Dragon Sonic and Sebastian Ocampo as we listen to the Italian national anthem. After that exciting race here in Japan, Revo taking victory despite a puncture on the final lap. Here come the race results of the Japanese Grand Prix. Revo taking victory from B-Dragon Sonic and Ocampo, who once again takes the fastest lap. Then it's Yua Puff, Spots YT15, Hunlan V, Austin Palomino, the Red Devil, and Daph Sanchez, the top 10. The point standings look like this. B-Dragon Sonic moves up into second, with Revo up to P5 after his victory today. B-Dragon Sonic somehow up in second despite not winning. England still leads the team standings, but 2 points up on Team Nigeria as Italy moves up into third. Well, we've got official news from Michelin as to why all of these tyres went pop. It seems like the damage from that major melee earlier on in this race caused all of it. But still, an amazing race to the line, won by Revo. B-Dragon Sonic, he's going to have to come back a lot harder next time out as we head to Yas Island for the Yas Island Grand Prix. So from all of us here on Spark Plug Motorsports, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time when the ERL A1GP returns.
I just wanna dress and wine. I don't know what I would ever do, don't like to think about, cause I'm turning up the volume to 11 on the dial. You pay you more than any, you're like money on my mind. Anytime I think about you, I just wanna dress and wine. I don't know what I would ever do, don't like to think about, cause I'm turning up the volume to 11 on it.